sound it?
Hey there, Luke from ButtonPushersUnited, and if you couldn't tell from all the footage you just saw and the first attempt of me trying to make this video passing out, then you would know that I just came back from the coolest 4-day convention ever, NAMM, or if you don't know what that means, the National Association of Music Merchants, which means that we're going to be going through my top 5 coolest, most awesome, and weird pieces of kit for 2018 right now. And coming in at number 5, we have a favorite of mine that would have made it a little higher on the list if not for the fact that I've been struggling to find one for what feels like years now. No joke, I was living at home when I saw Muse use this on one of their music videos for Madness and told my dad, despite never having played guitar, if he got me this, I would master it. I mean, look at it. Come on. See, the people at MISA Digital have sought out a path to further bridge electronic and traditional forms of music with the KITARA, and have built an instrument that isn't a guitar, but any guitar player could pick up, and instantly recognize the 24-fret default tuning, and quickly adjust to the touch, poke, prod, swipe, whatever motion you want sensitive pad. Despite never having the opportunity to play one myself, the guitar has earned a special place in my heart in the way that only never meeting your heroes can. One day, KITARA. One day. For cool, that's 115 out of 128, and weird, 79 out of 128. If you know why the scale is out of 128, well, you're a nerd. Number 4. Yes, down the rabbit hole we go. Across from the KITARA booth, we stumbled into FM synthesis land with Mario and the DIGITONE synth. Now, if you are a geek like myself, you're probably wondering, well, why is this FM synthesizer so special? Why should I care? I've been listening to Kraftwerk since before the EDM takeover of 2010. Blah, blah, blah. Remember the Prodigy? Relax. See, the DIGITONE isn't necessarily flashy, but that is actually what makes it so great. The DIGITONE simplifies the difficult to grasp language of FM synthesis, while still giving you endless options. You can use it to perform any type of sound imaginable with its 8-voice polyphonic hardware synthesizer across 4 synth tracks and using 8 different algorithms, with all the usual effects and 2 LFOs. And what's more, this is all visualized with the no-frills screen in the top left that gives a nothing more, nothing less graphical tour of what you are doing, making it easier to not just create, but actually understand the language you are trying to speak through FM synthesis. For cool, that's going to be a 65 out of 128, but weird, 100 out of 128. Number 3. Here we go. This is a name we all know. Look guys, it's ARTURIA. Buckle yourselves in, fanboys, because ARTURIA has a slap to your ear holes like never before. Because while I could talk about the modular capabilities of 48CV I/O patch bay at the MINIBRUTE 2S, and I could talk about the Steiger-Parker output filter and 64 pattern step sequencer of the DRUMBRUTE, here's what I am here to talk about. Yes, it's an empty rack, but recall my words regarding the ELEKTRON DIGITONE. It is the openness and simplicity that opens the door to endless creativity. See, ARTURIA was real smart on their launch of the RACKBRUTE series. While most companies are developing cool pieces of software and sweet hardware standalone synths, ARTURIA has taken a step back to take in the big picture, and has released an ecosystem. See, ARTURIA's product here isn't just the MINIBRUTE, or the MicroBrute, or the Analog Lab, because that's what ARTURIA would be pushing if they just wanted your money. No. What ARTURIA is after here with their customizable rack system that doesn't even have to use ARTURIA modules is your loyalty, your dedication, your belief that this seamless, integrated, and portable rack system is the answer to every time you wanted to get into modular synthesis, but were overwhelmed by its depth or couldn't afford it or found it impossible to schlep anything to a gig. ARTURIA is answering the call of synthophiles the world over and making entry, expansion, and depth right within reach of the common producer. And it's all here. Look no further. ARTURIA will take care of you. They promise. For cool, that's going to be 98 out of 128, and weird, 112 out of 128. Number 2. Now, what we have here is nothing short of, well, I wanted to say creepy at first, because we live in a strange time. See, People who are old enough to remember the radio era are still alive, and they live side by side with their grandchildren who basically come into this world with smartphones out of the womb. So naturally, when I crossed a drum set playing itself, the drummer part of me wanted to put his head in the ground. But then I met Piotr, or Piotr, look, I'm sorry if I'm getting your name wrong, the CEO of POLYEND, the mad scientist behind the magic of the SEQ sequencer and PERC Pro. And my perspective was radically shifted. Now, I mentioned 2 pieces of gear, and I love the crap out of the SEQ intuitive step sequencer with its 32 steps, 8-track polyphony, 256 pattern storage with note velocity, length, modulation, and roll controls, but look, it's a drum set that plays itself. Go watch the video of him and I talking about the SEQ if you want to nerd out on that. I should call attention to that when I said that the drums were playing themselves, that wasn't entirely accurate. Let me explain. See, the PERC Pro connects to software, like Ableton, blessed be its name, or even the SEQ, and turn your world into a drum machine. Simply mount the PERC Pro on the surface you want to play, sync up your software and MPC, and bam! One tap of a pad and you're playing a full kit. It's no wonder that people like Sigur Rós and Aphex Twin have found this to be the way forward in percussion. Needless to say, I left Piotr and POLYEND feeling at ease, and that all was right with the world. Cool factor, 87 out of 128, and weird, 119 out of 128. And time for number 1! Yes, the moment you've been waiting for. The coolest, weirdest thing all 4 days and 1,000+ vendor booths NAMM 2018 had to offer. Something so different, you had to go down the escalator, drop your high chew, past the Tonewood and Chinese electronics people in Hall E to even find it. And here it is. A little plastic ring. Now I'll stop you right there. I'm going full Yoda on you when I say not to judge this thing by its size, because if you are, you're not looking at this thing right. This is Wave from Iceland's very own engineering nerd geek squad, GENKI Instruments. And I wish their families and crops 1,000 years of health and happiness just for producing this thing. I couldn't be happier to see more companies going after the motion control market, especially in music. And I think Wave is one of the few pioneers looking to perfect and make motion control feel natural. See, it's right there on their website. They said it. The Wave slips right on your finger, connects instantly via Bluetooth to anything you want it to, and can be assigned to control anything you want it to. Raise your hand to open filters, tilt your hand to turn up the volume, tap anything to play a snare drum, move horizontally to turn it off, or literally anything else. Cool factor, 128 out of 128, and weird, 128 out of 128. Perfect score, gentlemen. John, Olafur, Herodur, thank you for seeing the future of music in a new way. I can't wait to see how this changes the way artists and producers approach music in 2018. If you yourself watching this feel the same, stay tuned for their Indiegogo campaign that will be launching in the coming months. I myself will be contributing, and I'll be posting a link to it here in the description when it goes live. If you've made it this far in the video, it's safe to say that you're really into this stuff, so you should definitely subscribe right now. Also, when you do that, make sure you hit the little bell icon so you can see new uploads when they come out to get caught up on more gear. Also, considering how you either wished you were at NAMM or just couldn't possibly get to everything in the 4 days it was here, be sure to click one of these other videos I'm going to be linking up right here to check out more field coverage of more synthesizers, sequencers, and all kinds of weird stuff. You wouldn't want to get left behind now, would you? Didn't think so. I'll see you in the next one. Do more than press play.
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 Do more than press play. Do more than press play.
Do more than press play.
Do more than press play.
Do more than press play.
Do more than press play.
Do more than press play.
Anything you want to say to the viewers?
Do more than press play.